Hello, welcome back to Lorehammer. I'm your friendly neighborhood Marquino. Welcome to the 40K show. Gerald, hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hello, and I am your friendly neighborhood OG Demiurg. We're going to
Yeah.
find out about that later.
Do you have some fun voices for Xenos as well that we can dip into? Like, do you have a
Let's
picture of
see.
what a Demiurg would sound like?
No, I actually, other than just like your pseudo Voton, or I guess kin from Leagues of Voton, but that's probably something different. So I don't know, but I'm sure we can come up with something along the way.
Yeah. You're now tasked with it, so we'll come back to you. We also got joining us again, Boba Jack. What's good?
I'm happy to be here. I've been prepping with my xenophobia classes.
Mm.
Big hater of non-human species for the fact that they are not made in God's image, as we are.
Yeah. No, that's reason enough in my mind, I think.
Yeah, they're filthy.
You see, I'm learning about Xenos just to understand them better. You're learning about Xenos so you can hate them more intelligently. We are not the same.
Yes, yeah. I learn about Xenos so I can be more accurately xenophobic. I'm very entwined into their culture so I can hate it more properly.
Nice, I like that. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna have a fun episode. I'll tell you a little bit more about the episode in a second, how it's formatted and stuff. It's kind of interesting how we did this one, but yeah, before we get into that, some housekeeping stuff. I got Merlin's Miniatures. They're doing a charity event, so if you want to know about a charity event, it's for mental health, and it is a creator-driven campaign bringing together some of the most passionate voices in the tabletop community to support mental well-being through the power of miniatures. Selected creators have kindly donated a miniature. These special models will be sold during Mental Health Week, May 12th through the 18th, on the Merlin's Miniatures website, with 100% of the proceeds donated to Mind to help fund life-changing mental health support. Together, through creativity, community, and shared experience, we're shining a light on the powerful link between hobby and healing. And then hashtag miniatures for mental health. It's fun reading little ads like this. I think a lot of us use minis to kind of escape reality to some degree. The hobbying, you can just turn off your brain. I definitely have had some mental healing of my own, just sitting there cleansing my mind, not only of my problems but also Xenos for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's plenty of mental health support in that.
Yeah, so if you guys want to donate some minis, you can always donate some minis that can be sold. If you're proud of something and want to just give back, definitely reach out to them. Maybe they'll set something up. But yeah, go check that out. Merlin's Miniatures.
Yeah, I think I got a few extras in like my pile of potential I can definitely work with and donate. Because I like good causes like this. So, but enough about the serial stuff. Let's talk about some other fun things. Join the Imperial Tithe. You know who you are. If you haven't joined yet, why are you being a heretic? For just $2.50 per month, you get ad-free versions of the show on Spotify. You can also replace the dollars with chickens, teeth with your court, American economy and all that stuff. But for $5 per month, you have access to the live show and you get to hang out and chat with us. And on that, I will give this over to Boba Jack.
On top of being able to join into the live through Patreon access, you can also become a call-in guest at the end of the show. You can talk to Mark. You can belittle us. Anything you want to do, any hate you want to spew, please, give us money so that way you can do it.
Yeah. If you had 3 bullets and you're in a room with the Xenos, which one would you shoot? One of them each? 1 3 times? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let the violence flow. Yeah, so this episode we're kind of carrying on in the Minor Xenos series that we kind of just started. We're going to be talking about the Chrome, the Demiurg, and the Enoulians in this episode. And when we're going through them, my little disclaimer for this is I kind of wrote them almost from the perspective of Xenos Marcus cataloging stuff. Xenos biologist Marcus. Like, some of this information is definitely expanded from my own mind. I tried to stay true to stuff like, okay, if we're dealing with bugs, they probably have a hive mind like ants or something. They didn't say it, but we can almost assume it. And then I might write something like the Adeptus Astartes think. So this episode's going to be kind of a mixed bag. You know, if I was to put on a number on what percentage is true, let's say probably 75% of it, but there's going to be some stuff in here that is just kind of hearsay. Yeah, in this episode, we're kind of gonna go down. I kind of thought, okay, what do you need to know about each Xenos? Okay, so let's learn their overview. What do they look like? What powers and abilities? It's so fun in 40k. You often get like creatures that have abilities that provide a whole range of powers. Then obviously you need some type of history, probably a home world or galactic geography. Then we'll talk about their cultures and beliefs. You know, are they still Stone Age savages hunting down people, or are they kind of more sophisticated? Then technology, military, galactic relations. How are they on the galactic field? Like I said, are they hunting people, or are they more like willing to trade? And then any special things when going into there? Like I know some things have a very specialized fleet, so you could list that in technology when I was building out these. Because we got a lot of minor Xenos, so I kind of want to like formalize it across all of them to hit all these different categories when going through. Yeah. So that's that. Let's dive into it. The very first one is the Chrome. But just for those who don't know what a minor Xenos is, quick refresher.
Yeah, and so obviously, old Warhammer did a really good couple of episodes on this already because I think what was the original total, Mark, like 150 that y'all covered?
Yeah, something like that. And it was over the course of 4 episodes. And those ones, we did very generalized episode because we wanted to mention every Xenos was our thought. So, you know, there's Xenos like the Kroot that literally have pages of lore written about them. But then there's other ones like the Chrome, for instance. There's enough that we could talk about them for 30 minutes, but not much more.
Yeah, because I think that was the other thing about those episodes is like a lot of them was just like you had like maybe one, maybe two sentences of information, and that was it. So
yeah, this Xenos was encountered during the Great Crusade, and it was genocided. Yeah, it was kind of how that one went. But yeah, so this one we're kind of giving it a more deep look, but also kind of being a little creative with these minor Xenos in some degree.
Were you going to say something, Jack?
I was going to say, encountered by the Imperium and never encountered again.
Yeah, problem solved.
Why do we keep losing 90% of our guard regiments to these Xenos? My brother and the Emperor, we killed all the nice ones.
Hey,
Okay.
did you see how they looked? They deserved it.
Grimaldus in the chat is asking about bangability for one of the categories. I never thought about that. Typically, in these situations, we call the Inquisitor on folks like you. But since we're friends, Grim, I'll give you one warning.
And
Don't
that
bang
warning
the
is
Xenos.
that if it has a hole, that's up to you.
Anyways, minor Xenos. Are we still keeping score for bad segues this episode?
Yeah.
I want to outdo myself. I have some
Yeah.
plans.
I have faith in
Plans
you.
I lack thereof.
All right.
I do too.
All right, challenge accepted. Minor Xenos refers to the countless alien species that exist across the galaxy, but are not as powerful or well known as major threats like the Orks, Tyranids, or Eldar. These lesser known races vary wildly in size, strength, and technology, from simple tribal creatures to advanced empires hidden in remote regions. The Imperium of Man, driven by its doctrine of human supremacy and fear of the alien, treats all Xenos, major or minor, as enemies to be purged, subjugated, or studied only for strategic advantage, as you do. Most minor Xenos are wiped out without much notice, their existence recorded only in obscure inquisitorial archives or ancient crumbling records, their lives snuffed out by the endless machinery of imperial conquest.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Not made in God's image. And we
Get
shall make
out of here.
Yeah, go back to where you came from, and then once you're there, we'll burn it to the ground. Yeah.
And then we're gonna make you pay for it.
we'll make we'll make the Xenos pay for the wall. We'll build it 50 feet high.
It'll be a wall of blanks. We'll put them 1 kilometer, 1 square kilometer across the galaxy.
Yes. There we go. We got it. We got it. And honestly, it's. I mean, one of them has a name that's really bugging me. The Chromes. And on that note, the Chromes. The Chromes were a metallic insectoid Xenos species encountered by the Imperium of Man during the tumultuous era of M32. Though vast in numbers, estimated near 88 billion, the Chromes were not inherently aggressive by nature. Their emergence into Imperial held space was not driven by conquest, but by desperation, as they fled from a nameless terror greater than themselves. Tragically misunderstood, the Imperium treated their presence as an act of war, leading to brutal engagements that sealed the fate of many Chrome worlds. Despite their seemingly defensive intent, the Chromes were swept up and annihilated between the hammer of Imperial might and the anvil of the Ork menace. Their actions, possibly a desperate warning to humanity, were ultimately lost in the blood and fire of Ardementua and beyond. Their brief contact with the Imperium remains a footnote in history, an unheeded omen crushed beneath the endless war of the 32nd millennium.
Yeah.
Really, they got what they deserved.
As they all do.
Yeah,
Go
he
figure
jumped right in
fucking
front of the
thing.
car. I mean, even though you're on the sidewalk, he jumped in front of the
He
car.
jumped. I swear, officer.
The tire marks mean nothing.
Yeah, the Imperium really does just come in and just plow through everything, including themselves, with chaos. But it's a good time for them. The Chrome are interesting. I've never heard of them until about I don't know, only a couple months ago. Maybe not even that long. Seems like we've talked about them a whole bunch with Imperial Fists and with maybe one other thing recently. So it was interesting kind of looking at these guys. The Chromes, yeah, what a shitty name. We were joking about how the Imperial Fist named them, and they suck at namings too, naming conventions. So
Oh, that's why it's such a bad name.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. They're like, yeah, Cooland, his name's Slaughter, and he thinks he's so cool, and he's just like, yeah, these guys are the Chrome. Yeah,
I just keep thinking of the Mad Max quote. You will ride forth, shiny and chrome.
shiny. No, that's way too fucking fun for any Imperial Fist for sure.
Yeah, no, they're sitting in there in their pain glove, skid marked up,
Yeah.
skidded as some may say. They let it crust, but yeah.
Yeah. The Chrome is fun. Their appearance in biology, the Chrome resembles human-sized insects clad in shining, silvery, metallic chitin, an appearance that earned their name among the Adeptus Mechanicus. Their sleek, reflective bodies were a marvel of natural armor that their heads, necks, and backs reinforced to a level that baffled Imperial biologists. From their thin but powerful limbs to their rapid, jittering movements, the Chromes exuded an eerie mechanical vitality, producing sounds likened to malfunctioning cogitators. Within their species, specialized warriors forms evolved, larger and darker and far deadlier than their common kin. These warriors defending their towering hive world. Tonight's one of those nights where I can't read. It'll be fun, but maybe it'll self-correct and maybe it'll get progressively worse. We'll find out. I know I'm excited to find out. Okay, now we gotta find where we were. The Chromes exude an eerie mechanical. Okay, larger, darker, and far deadlier than their common kin. These warriors defend towering hive structures known as blister nests, central to each Chrome world. Their biology was perfect blend of resilience and adaptability, allowing them to survive the harshest assaults until even they could no longer withstand the tides of death sweeping through the stars. I thought this was kind of a cool little thing about these guys where different forms that they have. We know they have warriors. What else could they have? Probably some type of worker. You could come up with a whole bunch, but also the different forms have different metallic hues, different darkness.
Yeah, maybe like a big bug that shoots plasma out of its butt into space. Or maybe
Yes.
a bug that crawls out of the ground and kind of looks like
Yeah.
a beetle and spits fire. Or maybe maybe
Hmm.
who knows, man. They seem very original. And
Dip it in chrome.
dip it in chrome. The only
Yeah.
thing I really wonder is how they taste. That's it. I
Yeah.
like
How far down does the chrome go?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I do
Sounds like
wonder
there
if
needs to be
they eat the chrome on the planet somehow, some type of metal. And they have to eat it to get the metal and to put it on their bodies and stuff. And maybe if they were on different planets eating different metals, they turn different colors as well. But that's all poppycock. Who knows?
Yeah, well, we read it though, and that's true. But the source is us.
Yeah, yeah. So if you feel like you can trust me,
Which you should.
you should.
We
Yes.
are the divine word of the law. You shall only obey us.
Yeah.
Yes, quiet. Also, this is the first time you read Chitin, right?
Years of practice, my friend.
I'm proud.
Mhm.
But in talking with like the eating of the metal, they do have some powers and abilities, so we'll see if it comes from eating of said metal. The Chrome's greatest strength lay in their speed, numbers, and incredible natural armor. Their silvery exoskeletons provide not only physical protection, but seem to deflect or absorb a surprising amount of energy damage, making them formidable opponents in direct combat. Their warrior castes were swift and merciless, attacking with precision, agility, and uncanny coordination that overwhelmed lesser foes. So, in Star Wars terms, this sounds a lot like Beskar, that can deflect blaster bolts, and even some lightsaber strikes. So,
Sure.
just a
Well,
just a casual observation, from a
yeah,
Star
maybe
Wars
even
RPG.
like MCU adamantium. No, sorry, vibranium. I mean, where it
Mhm.
absorbs energy as well, but that also gets some
Mhm.
crazy magical properties, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they get all chromed out.
they get all chromed
Mm.
out on that show. Fuck them.
Shiny and chrome.
Shiny.
Perhaps most disturbingly, there are accounts suggesting that the chromes exist between realities, phasing in and out of normal space as they fled before their hunters. Whether this was an inherent biological adaptation or a result of unknown technology remains unresolved. But it's granted them a strange and terrifying resilience against annihilation, one only the Imperium's greatest enemies and its own paranoia could eventually overcome.
Another common human W, really.
Yeah,
Put those Xenos in their place.
yeah.
Mhm.
I thought this was so crazy. Have you guys ever read the War of the Beast series?
Mm-mm.
No, you
Okay,
didn't read it to me
maybe.
yet.
Okay, well, we'll get there, my friend, but not now. Maybe somebody in the chat will have a better answer about this kind of between realities thing that they managed to do. Maybe it's a specific class. Maybe all of them kind of do it. But yeah, I wonder, in the evolution, what came first? The ability to go into the warp or getting metal on their body to maybe protect them from the warp? Who knows?
Oh, what came first, the chrome or the warp? The
Yes,
classic
exactly.
age-old question.
Mm.
Age old.
The answer is me. I came first. But
Bubba Jack!
Oh,
ah! Oh,
oh no, Jack's about to bust.
bust. But that is all history. Um, First encountered in the 32nd millennium.
Yes, yes, he didn't even fuck it up.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Wow, that was excellent.
Thank you. Thanks. But first encountered in the 32nd millennium, the Chrome's appearance in Imperial space was an accident of fate and tragedy. Fleeing from the devastating forces of the Ork war boss known only as the Beast, the Chrome spread across 67 worlds, building blister nests and struggling for survival. Misinterpreted as invaders, their desperate actions provoke the full wrath of humanity's protectors. The Imperial fists dispatched to cleanse the world of Artementia engaged the Chromes with grim determination. Unbeknownst to them, their true enemy, the Greenskin Horde, was soon to arrive. Both sides were ultimately annihilated when the Ork battle moon descended upon the planet, wiping out defenders and refugees alike in a single brutal stroke. Really, it just seems like the Chrome's fault. They brought them there.
Yeah. Well, you're in the wrong galaxy there, Chrome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they should go back to. And 67 worlds. Listen. You don't need 67, pal. Worlds are pretty big.
Yeah, geez.
That's 67 too many.
Yeah. Back in the universe, buddy.
I do love it. Like a lot of these Xenos, the only encounter we have is from the Imperium perspective. We don't know much about them. This hive mind probably isn't writing down their history. They don't care too much to. They probably don't even know how to in the same way that we would.
I mean, unless they got a big brain bug. They got a big
maybe
brain bug that stores everything.
Yeah. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
But we know the Imperium doesn't like them for sure. And
I don't.
This is the only real example of them in the galaxy that we have. But, I always think with that many worlds and that many bugs, it's possible, man, that they could still be around kicking about.
Not on my watch.
Please, Lord Calgar, just make Boba Jack an Astartes. He will serve you well.
I don't even need to be an Astartes. You just give me a gun. I'll do it. I'll figure it out. Yeah, no. They've had it. Those filthy Chromes have had it too good for too long.
You're putting into that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We don't know much about their homeworld. We know they have 67 worlds. Kind of know a couple things, but this is kind of what we know. The Chromes hail from a cluster of isolated and remote planets, largely located in the halo stars, a region of space known for its dangerous and uncharted territories. These planets are often located on the fringe of known Imperial space, where little attention is paid to their existence due to the harsh conditions and overwhelming threats posed by the other Xenos species in the region. The Chrome homeworlds are often characterized by dense jungles, vast underground cave systems, and sprawling hive cities that were built with the very rocks of their planets. These hive cities, known as blister nests, serve as the focal points of their society, where the large and most capable members of their species congregate to live and reproduce. The inhospitable environment has shaped the Chromes into resilient and adaptive species, capable of surviving and thriving in conditions that would break less resourceful creatures. Galactically, the Chromes reach their limit, but their territories are scattered across 67 known worlds, though they remain largely confined to the halo stars and their surrounding void. The region is notorious for unstable warp rifts and unpredictable stellar phenomenon, which serve as a barrier to more widespread exploration and colonization by other species. The Chromes are not inherently aggressive in a traditional sense, but have been forced into conflict with the Imperium and other species after fleeing the threat of the Ork war boss, the Beast. Their movements are often a result of desperation, seeking refuge or new worlds to inhabit after the decimation of their home systems by greater forces. Their presence of the Chromes in these remote regions, combined with their tendencies to appear only in moments of dire need, has led some scholars to speculate that they are refugees or exiles, caught in a never-ending struggle for survival amid the turmoil of the galaxy's endless wars. Sucks to suck, Xenos.
El Bozo. El Bozo indeed.
I mean, who chooses to live in a place like the Halo stars or the Ghoul
Yeah.
stars? I mean, come on, more like Rip Bozo stars. Jeez.
Yeah. More like idiot stars full of idiots who are idiots.
Yeah. Fuck them. They don't even speak English still.
Don't fuck them because they're gross.
And that is heresy.
Yeah.
I do like this little bit about So we know these guys have this kind of warp ability. We don't know to its full extent. We don't know how they use it. I wasn't able to find any spacecraft, I don't think, that these guys have. So maybe they teleport. And maybe this region of space is so turbulent with warp activity because of all these chrome like teleporting back and forth across this spot. Like, yeah, causing so many ripples and stuff. That's just my speculation, but it's fun.
So it's their fault anyways. Every problem we have is their fault.
Yeah.
It's always a Xenos fault. What are you talking about?
It's almost like a minor fucking hive mind tear in the warp. What is that called again? Sorry.
Shadow in the warp.
Shadow in the warp. Yeah, where you just get a lot of sentient bugs screeching. It just makes turbulent activity.
The more that we read about them, I see like it's funny that we had Halo stars, because the more we read, the more I'm like, they remind me of the Sangheili from Halo. Like those filthy split lips. The more we read, it's just like they're covered in chrome. So like the Sangheili, they go around and they're good at war. And that was it. Pretty. Oh, and also jungle planets and caves and stuff, because the Sangheilis have a lot of that too.
Filthy fucking bugs.
We got to find out what they really look like so we can develop proper slurs for them.
Exactly.
I think chrome is the good slur. Fucking chromies.
Chromies. Oh,
the shinies.
Shinies. That would be good. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll bring a new light of hatred to the universe.
Check
as
out
the
those
Emperor.
chromesicles, haha.
Oh, filthy chromers!
Oh my god, look at the chromes, ha ha!
Go back to where you came from, Cromer. That'd be. Go back to your filthy jungle.
A lot of this is also screaming to me like Necrons, kind of shiny, chrome. They teleport a lot, except they're bugs instead of ancient skeletons or
no
ancient
technology.
robot skeletons.
They're ancient bugs, but I wouldn't know. Kill them all.
But anyways,
not so ancient now, dipshit.
Oh, I got it. Where Necron are people on the inside and metal on the outside. The chrome are bugs on the inside and chrome on the outside. And
then we spray them with a can of Raid until they stop moving.
Yeah.
No, you need Chrome Raid. Raid Chrome.
Oh, you spray paint? You put like a bottle of chrome spray paint in there?
There you go.
For taste.
How to rust chrome easily. I'm getting a lot of searches of the ultimate or the opposite of that. But basically, let's toss some salt and vinegar on these guys. They're not going to have a good time. They're going to go from chromes to...
Those are my chips.
You can keep the salt and vinegar chips. I'm a sour cream and onion fan all the way. Before we get into the next section of the notes... What's that?
Just smearing chips on them.
Yeah, taste these Pringles, fucker.
You're the worst guardsman, Bobby, but somehow you live every conflict, and here we are.
Because I'm so the hate inside of me, the fire inside burns brighter than the fire around me.
Yeah, you got like faith points for the Sisters of Battle, except your own style of that. Hate points.
Hate points. I throw rocks when I run out of ammo. I do not stop.
So, Guardsman Bobby, why is there a giant requisition for salt and vinegar chips?
Flavor, destruction. That's all I need to say. Let it be done.
Let it be done.
In the Emperor's name, let it be done. Blessed be the Emperor.
Holy fuck.
But before we get to the next section of the notes, I would like to point out potential future episode idea, if it hasn't already been done. The Halo Stars and the Ghoul Stars are a very interesting couple of regions that have a lot of really fucked up shit that happens in them. So,
yeah.
Oh, I love fucked up shit.
Fuck yeah.
Well, boy, have you come to the right podcast.
Yay! Fucked up shit. Shit.
There goes, thanks BetterHelp for sponsoring this show. They didn't do this one,
Uh-oh.
but no, it's all good.
Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring our shit.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
don't actually listen.
All right, so this
It'll be
is
a
a
fun
lot
cease
of
and desist.
strange. There's a lot of strange set of beliefs that we're talking about. So let's talk about the Chrome's cultures and beliefs. Okay,
Smooth.
serious face. The Chrome, the Chromes, though Xenos, may have shared deeper instincts with the creatures of ancient Terra. Their behavior, compared by Magos Phaeton Laurentis to that of desperate rats, suggested a race motivated not by empire or conquest, but by raw survival. Their construction of vast hive-like blister nets spoke to a communal existence, centered on protection and endurance against a hostile galaxy. Some among the Adeptus Mechanicus later speculated that the Chrome had even attempted to warn the Imperium of the greater danger they fled. If true, this would hint at a tragically sophisticated culture capable of recognizing and respecting powers beyond their comprehension, even if their cries were drowned in gunfire and bloodshed.
Like they deserved.
Like they deserve.
Womp womp.
That's what I'm gonna say.
It's an interesting thought. Like what level of technology did the Chrome have? They didn't seem to have any. What need for war would like a society that all gets along instantly all the time? So they probably don't have any guns and stuff.
But
Yeah,
they
it's
have
just
those
this.
claws.
Yeah,
They're
but that could be for harvesting leaves. So, and like on their planet, they might have evolved on a planet with no predator species on it, and then they slowly spread out. I don't know. I was getting a very sympathetic vibe for these guys. Sure, we still crushed them,
as
except
all bugs should be.
yeah. Except maybe remember them as the hard workers they are.
I don't know. Listen. I've seen several Chrome in my day that had Imperial guns on them.
Shit.
Yeah, I did, and they, and I listen. Just because I was missing my bolt pistol and the Chrome had it, it's just
Yeah.
I
Tried to
always
take.
keep a spare on me for no
Hmm.
reason at all.
Curious.
And also, they had so much coke, so much, so much space coke, and that probably helped them out in their militaristic gains. The Chromes are a race of
Just like the
metallic
Nazis did. And that's yeah.
Well, they did meth. They weren't
And now
coke.
we're
Oh shoot! Fuck!
Yeah,
I fucked that one. My bad.
yeah.
And
The
now we're
Nazis were big into
demonetized.
meth. Hey, meth is great.
Cancelled.
Meth gets me through my day, and by meth
Yeah.
I mean Adderall. So,
Uh,
but meth nonetheless gets me
you
through my
know.
day.
Yeah.
I love
Sure.
meth. Thank you, meth. Sponsor of today's video.
A sponsor you can trust.
A sponsor you can trust. Take meth. It'll clear you
Better
out.
call Saul.
Oh God.
Better call me. I have meth. I don't. Don't. But in Minecraft,
Yeah.
I'm going to jail after this episode. The Chromes are a race of a metallic insectoid Xenos, whose presence is both tragic and mysterious. Though they were first encountered by the Imperium as hostile invaders, deeper investigations revealed that their assault was not born of aggression, but of desperation. Their sleek, silvery chitin reflected the broken light of shattered battlefields, and their strange mechanical screeches echoed like a death rattle of dying machines. Driven from their homeworlds by the monstrous advance of the Ork war boss known as the Beast, the Chromes crash into Imperial space like a tide of terrified refugees, attempting to build new blister nests, great hive structures, wherever they could. Unaware of the Chromes' true plight, the Imperium met them with fire and bolter, purging them without mercy, even as darker forces loomed on the horizon. In battle, the Chromes moved with insectile grace and horrifying speed, their warriors larger, darker, and deadlier than their kin, leading the assaults with brutal efficiency. Their combat style suggested a hive mind, rather than tactical thought, relying on swarming rapid movements and sheer numbers to overwhelm enemies. It was theorized by the Adeptus Mechanicus that the Chromes may have been attempting to warn the Imperium of the greater threat that pursued them. Yet their alien nature, the eerie metallic shimmer of their forms, and the broken cogitator screeches of their communication ensured that no understanding could be reached. In the end, both the Chromes and the Imperials perished beneath the guns of the Orc battle moon, a, a grim testament to the brutal ignorance and unrelenting violence that defines the existence of the galaxy. I
Yeah.
we're saying a lot of things that are making the Chrome sound not as bad, but have you considered that they're bugs, and bugs are gross?
Oh, you know what? Fuck, that is true. I seen a praying mantis one time. Those are pretty cool, but everything else, not so much.
Yeah.
Have you also considered too that everyone likes to shit on the Imperium for being xenophobic, but what do the Orcs like to do? What about the fucking
Yeah.
Eldar?
Yeah.
What about the
Yeah.
Necrons? What about the Tau?
Hey.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, what about those filthy slit noses? Well, what about
Yeah.
them? Yeah. They go around mind controlling people. The other day I was walking my dog and I saw a filthy Tau in the sky, mind controlling my people, putting chemtrails in my air.
You know, when I see their forehead, I think of only one thing I'd like
Vagina.
Fuck. No. Putting a
Listen,
bullet in
those
between it.
those
Yeah,
filthy Tau are a bunch of pussies. That's why they got pussies on their heads.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're military. The Chrome, not.
Right.
Fuck.
Sorry. There's several Xenos, and they all kind of look the same to me.
Yeah.
They all merge into one single inferior species, really.
Yeah. Purge one, purge the next.
Yeah,
Uh,
honestly.
yeah. So at this point, we lose track of the Chrome. The Imperium also gets wiped out in that battle. But let's see if they're still kicking around. Let's talk about their galactic relations.
They
The
better not.
Chromes had. I hope they are, just so we can purge them again.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing better than genociding a species twice. Yes.
Bet you didn't expect me to do that shit again.
Exactly. The Chromes had a brief tragic relationship with the Imperium, marked by misunderstanding and violence. Mistaken for invaders rather than desperate refugees, they were merciless, purged despite possibly trying to warn humanity of greater threats. They had no recorded interactions with Chaos Eldar or Dark Eldar, though it is likely ancient Eldar would have viewed them as insignificant or ignored them entirely, while the Dark Eldar might have seen them as little more than exotic prey. The Chromes were actively hunted by the Orks, specifically fleeing the apocalyptic might of the beast's wog, which ultimately drove them into Imperial space. There's no evidence of contact with the Necron, though given the Necron's hatred for all life, any encounter would have ended with swift extermination. I don't think the Necron need this type of slave class. They don't need this one. Similarly, the Tyranids had encountered the Chromes, they would have viewed them as only biomass to be consumed. As for the Tau, their rising empire came along with the Chrome's destruction, or came along long after the Chrome's destruction, leaving no opportunity for diplomacy, war, or even recognition of the Chrome's tragic, fleeting existence. Although it just seems like this race could potentially have. I didn't read these books, so fuck, man, this might not be the right vibe. But when I read about them on the Wikipedia, on the old Reddit, on when I talked to the Discord, the vibe was that they weren't necessarily these like invaders trying to spread their territory and conquer. They were fleeing. They were fleeing the Orks. Maybe they would be willing to work alongside people. Maybe the Tau.
I wouldn't be willing to work alongside them. But I mean,
I like the alliance of aliens with the Tau though, because that way you lump
with the
all
Tau,
the
sure.
Tau together, get all these filthy Xenos into one spot,
Yeah.
genocide them all at the same time.
Exterminatus. Easy.
Yeah.
You know what? I can concede that. I can concede that.
So
Just press the big red
I
button.
think these guys should join
Yes.
the Tau alliance. I think they'd be a cool little addition.
I would love
Yes, let them join. Let them join the discount covenant.
Exactly. Discovenant.
All right. Current state of we were just talking about them being exterminated. So what is the current state of the chrome? Shiny and chrome. As of the 41st millennium and beyond, the chromes are presumed extinct. After their desperate flight from the beast and their catastrophic battles against the Imperial fists and Ork forces on Ardamantua, there are no known records of the chrome surviving those events. Between being caught between the Imperium's overwhelming firepower and the unstoppable green tide of the Orks, it's extremely likely that their scattered hives were destroyed. If any chrome survived at all, they would likely be few in number, hiding on isolated worlds or lost in the ruins of their former territory, too small or too weakened to pose any real influence to be a recognized presence in the modern 40K galaxy. But there is no proof, one way or another, and a lot can change over 8,000 years.
Yeah, man. Like, even if just one planet survived, that's enough for a species that is like a bug, fast replicating type species to really take off again, especially if they have this kind of warp ability to kind of jump between planets, like we kind of mentioned. That's hypothetical. But yeah, you could really spread them back up, and it's kind of a different vibe than Tyranids to some degree. But also it's just kind of same vibe.
I mean,
Well, and to be fair too, the Tau, when they were first discovered like some 6,000 years ago, they were just like a tribalistic, rock plus stick equals spear. They were scheduled to be exterminatus before a bunch of warp storms happened. And then all of a sudden, 6,000 years later, boom, here they are, actually a major player in the galaxy as Discount Covenant.
Yeah. I mean, I also the fact that like the biggest difference I see between the nids and the chromes are the fact that like a nid would never try and warn you about anything or build a city, right? The chrome actively go out of their way to build and have something, which
I
they
guess
should.
their whole driving motivation in and of itself is completely different. You want bugs that aren't just going to devour things, that are builders, because there are a lot of great builder bugs, whether you're talking about like bees nests or ant colonies, or there's tons of cool stuff.
Maybe we could have used them for something or other, but I think that they don't belong anywhere really.
Yeah, vengeful toasty sounds. Boba sounds like Mr. Garrison going after Canada. Gonna go to space and fuck them to death. Yeah, that was a great episode.
Listen, they fucking deserve it, right? They come into my planet, you fucking build cities on my planet and call me gay? I don't think so.
He's had enough.
I've had it up to here.
Now, Boba Jack, do we need to have ourselves a talk with Mr. Hat? What do you say about this here, Mr. Hat?
That they fucking deserve it.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's all just made up. We're just having fun, everyone. Just jokes.
These aren't real people because they're bugs.
But you know what isn't a joke? Copyright theft. Because that's what's going to happen when we take the Starship Trooper bugs and use them as our representation for the minis of Tabletop.
Which are actually the real Chrome representations. Yeah. We didn't take anything from anywhere. We looked it up. Don't look it up. We looked it up and we found them.
We did it for you. Trust the expert.
Yes, and we found several things that allude to the fact that they are similar but not the same. Don't look it up.
Different color.
Yes, different color.
Chrome, in fact, is the color.
Chrome, yes, yeah. And as we know, bugs don't tend to be chrome unless you get bored and spray them with chrome spray paint.
Yeah. Representation on Tabletop, I think that would be the move for sure. You for minis, you buy some Starship Troopers. Really, you could buy any bug type mini, but I think Starship Troopers would be probably the easiest one. And then rules, just kind of slot them into Tyranid stuff. Maybe you could slot them into something else, but
maybe you could do like a Nid / Necron type beat where they have like deep strike attacks, but also could they have like the Tyranid kind of swarm mentality, but also deep strikes and definitely give them fly for no reason.
They'd have a pretty cool model range too. It sounds like they have different classes, so you could have the winged class. You have your warrior class. You have a bunch of different types of ones. Depending on what bugs you go with, yeah, you could come up with a whole bunch of different types of things.
You could also use real bugs spray painted chrome.
Yeah,
They would allow
dipped in
that.
glue.
They can't say no.
Yeah. And bugs in the park are basically free. The government doesn't want you to know that, but you can just
And you can eat them
take
too.
You could do whatever you want with them. Too small to fuck, but you could do whatever you want with.
That's bold. I don't know. They seem like the right size. Honestly, maybe too big.
Maybe for a demiurg. Oh, now there's a. That's okay. Now that's called a forced segue.
Foreplay segue.
Forced.
How does this keep devolving into Slanesh? Is Jack's back in the chat all of a sudden?
Hey. Oh wait, it's I thought he was. Maybe
we're
all Jacks now. We're all Jacks.
Oh, it's Grimm's fault. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I blame you too, Toasty. You know what you did.
Yeah. It's all your fault, not me. I didn't do anything.
No, we're innocent. We're just minding our own business, trying to talk about roamed out bugs.
We're eating bugs in the park. We're spitting them at people. Yeah. We're throwing rocks at babies. And
baby Chrome. Baby Chrome.
And also real babies, but
real baby Chrome, yeah.
Yes, in Minecraft. But they deserve it. I mean, look at their.
Take us on, Gerald.
Yeah.
Take us away from the crushed babies.
And maybe Demiurg babies too. But let's actually learn what a Demiurg is. How about that? And we'll go from there.
I'm still xenophobic, but go on.
The Demiurg are a race of short, semi-humanoid beings. Mark, where'd you get the notes on? Where'd you get these notes from about me? Originally thought to be a minor Xenos species. What?
Observation. That's what I got to know.
I'm going to start this over. The Demiurg are a race of short, semi-humanoid beings, originally thought to be a minor Xenos species by both the Tau Empire and the Imperium of Man. In reality, they are a short, fat nerd called Gerald. Anyways, in reality, they are akin, a part of the ancient leagues of Votan, misidentified due to their isolation and unfamiliarity to outsiders. Known primarily as miners and traders, the Demiurg have maintained a cautious but significant presence in the galaxy's eastern fringe, particularly in dealings with the Tau Empire. They are regarded as technologically advanced, favoring diplomacy and commerce over open warfare, and typically avoid Imperial space unless specifically invited. While rare to encounter, the Demiurg influence is growing, especially through their economic activities and alliance with the Tau. Their increasing presence in regions like the Damocles Gulf is thought to be motivated by opportunities arising from galactic turmoil, such as Tyranid incursions. Although they have fought alongside Imperial forces on rare occasions, they largely operate independently, pursuing their own goals tied to trade, resource acquisition, and the survival of their brotherhoods.
Yeah. So Demiurg are an interesting little guys. They have existed for a while. We're going to do a little canon conflict at the end of this where what exactly are Demiurg now that we know they're leagues of Votan? They used to be kind of their own little thing, and now they kind of blended together a little bit. But let's carry on and learn some more.
I find it odd that they're semi-humanoid rather than sub-humanoid, but they are short little freaks. No offense.
Yeah, half humanoid. Half humanoid size. Yeah.
And more into their appearance and biology, the Demiurg are short and stocky, standing somewhat smaller than the average human, but built with dense. Gerald, built dense, powerful frames, well suited for mining and heavy labor. Their semi-humanoid appearance, combined with thick musculature and an aptitude of her endurance, reflects their evolutionary specialization for the life abroad asteroid mines. Okay, never mind.
You want me to make a joke and then you can catch your breath? Man, all of this potential that you're talking about is wasted just podcasting, Gerald. You could be out there with your semi-humanoid appearance and the thick muscular mining rich mineral worlds and asteroids. But here you are podcasting with me, and I'm honored.
Yeah. We're
representing my fellow Demiurg kin, of course. That was the whole point of this entire episode. So,
okay. I appreciate that you found yourself a home life aboard asteroid mines and mineral-rich worlds.
because you know what we do, and now I'm just drawing up a blank. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And it's
Wow.
gone.
Yep. Oh,
Well, I mean, the details are scarce on what you wanted to say. Their biological resilience seems to parallel that of their squat ancestors among the kin of the Leagues of Votan. Good that we threw in a slur there. Despite their robust builds, Demiurg are not brutish in demeanor. Their complex society and technological sophistication suggest a species that values intellect and precision as much as physical strength. Their physiology is adapted for prolonged life in space, likely featuring strong resistance to radiation and vacuum exposure. However, much of what is understood about their biology remains filtered through second-hand Imperial reports and Tau observations. As we know, Tau can't observe anything through that filthy slit in their face, and
Can't look past it.
no, they can't. But maybe the Demiurg earn a little bit of respect, because they remind me of Gerald, and he holds a special place in my heart.
oh,
And also the fact that they are mutants of mutant humans.
Yeah, well, that's where it gets interesting, man. Like, we got to come back to that at the end of this.
Yeah, as we know, pipsqueaks are not fully human.
Yeah.
That's
This is a well-known fact for sure.
yeah, obviously, because they can't
Demiurg
be
debatable.
Demiurg debatable. Leagues of Votan not human. Too short.
Yeah.
come on, tell me how you really feel, guys. Gosh, I'm right here.
Hey, you're one of the good ones, Gerald. All right.
Short people live longer, I hear, than the talls. The bigs. What do you want to call them, Gerald? What do you call it?
Don't call it. Yeah, don't. Be careful.
I'm gonna hold it in. I'm gonna hold it in. All I'm just gonna say is rock and stone.
Rocketstone.
Yeah. That's a power and an ability that game created. If you say rock and stone, people repeat it after you every time without fail. The Demiurg probably had something similar, and their greatest strength. That was not good. That was clunky. I was going somewhere, and I got too cocky with it.
You Bob jacked it. It's okay.
Yeah, I Bob jacked.
Remember, we're trying to outdo ourselves in how bad these segues are, so we're on a good track.
Oh yeah, they're supposed to be bad.
Convenient.
And really, bad segues are a power and also ability. Off to you, Mark.
Thanks, Jack. The Demiurg's greatest strength lies not in overt military power, but in their incredible technological and industrial capabilities. Masters of asteroidal mining and space construction, they possess energy gels, powerful cutting beams, and automated mining machines that can be repurposed as weapons or defense systems when needed. Their vessels are fortified and can unleash mining-based attack craft, making them dangerous opponents when provoked. In addition to their mining prowess, the Demiurg are skilled in trade and negotiation, allowing them to secure strategic alliances, such as the relationship with the Tau Empire. Their understanding of ion technology is particularly notable. They introduced the Tau to ion-based weaponry, dramatically influencing Tau military technology. Although they prefer peace and trade, the Demiurg can defend themselves effectively if their interests are threatened.
Fucking traitors.
No.
They gave the filthy slit faces fucking ion energy.
Yeah, fuck. I just don't think these are humans, so then it makes it okay. Then it's just Xenos filthing around with other Xenos.
What are you people doing, Gerald? What are you people doing?
I don't represent them. All I know is rock and stone.
If
you were to ask me to summarize any of what Mark just said, I just refer you to the song "Diggy Diggy Hole" by the Windrose.
Lady,
Yes.
That's not. It's not. It's by the Yogscast.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Am
Yeah.
I referencing wrong, or is it the Yogscast that I'm thinking of?
I'm pretty sure it's Windrose.
I-
I don't know. What do you think, chat? You decide.
Lady, I'm a dwarf and I'm
Windrose.
digging a hole. Diggy diggy hole. Digging a hole. You know, that's typical Yogscast ideology.
That's Demiurg for you.
Is that going to be copyright strike since I sung a song that they song?
Um,
It
I don't
wasn't
think
the whole
no.
they're
song. It's
as.
parody.
I was gonna say I don't think they're as strict on it as say a certain mouse, but
We'll find out. Yes, we
Yay!
will.
And I won't pay for that lawsuit. By the way, let that be known. I have no money.
Ah.
Disney's gonna sue the Demiurg, and they're gonna make Lorehammer pay for it. On that note,
No,
we're gonna talk about
no,
Demiurg's
Ah,
history.
no.
don't do that to Lorehammer. It'd be a real fucking
And let's talk about
tragedy.
Disney history too. Why not?
There we go.
Well, lots of skeletons in Disney's closet, eh?
Nazi skeletons.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, but for real, Demiurg history. The Demiurg first came to Imperial attention during the Great Crusade when the Imperium discovered isolated mining operations like Tenebrae 950. Known to be cautious and non hostile, they avoided direct conflict with humanity whenever possible. Their relations with other Xenos species made the Imperium suspicious, but the Demiurg largely escaped large scale purges due to their low visibility and remote activities. This kind of makes me think of just like, if you're kind of out of sight, out of mind. So just like, as long as we don't see you. In the later millennia, especially by the end of M41, the Demiurg became more active in the Ultima Segmentum, closely tied to the rise of the Tau Empire. Sightings of their ships along Tau and Kroot fleets, as well as their participation in battles such as the defense against High Fleet Jormungandr, demonstrate their willingness to involve themselves selectively in galactic events. Yet, whether out of opportunism, survival, or alliance building, the Demiurg have remained enigmatic players on the galactic stage.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know a whole lot about them, how long they've been doing their thing.
I mean, couldn't we just say that they've been doing their thing pretty much the same amount of time that the kin went missing in the first place? Like they are kin.
Yeah. But when did that happen though? Like that we don't necessarily know when that happened. That was like dark age of technology even before that. No, that was like the
Oh yeah,
first
that was.
time like
I
humanity
thought it
kind of
was after.
yeah.
I thought it was like during 30K, maybe.
Um no, no,
You
no.
guys did the episode about it. I don't know.
I just make this shit up. Uh,
Me too, man. I've been
none of
lying this
it's
whole
right.
time. We don't even have a script. This is all improv.
Oh god.
Welcome to Lorehammer, where the scripts are made up and the Xenos don't even matter.
Yeah. Fuck the Xenos.
Oh my god, really? You just made it. You just made a who's on who's on last, or who's on first reference. What was it called?
Whose
The
line is it, anyways?
whose line is
Whose
it anyways?
line is it anyways?
Wow.
Again, as Court likes to mention, we like the double nerd here, so
We
sometimes we might even
brought up,
triple nerd.
we're quadra nerded right now. We brought up the Starship Troopers and Halo, and
Beautiful.
it really, this place is starting to feel like a home world in galactic geography. The Demiurg are believed to originate from the remote star-scarred regions known as the Outer Rim, a region largely unexplored by the Imperium. Their homeworld, though largely unknown to outsiders, is speculated to lie deep within the galactic fringes, far from the controlled reaches of known space. In the vast and desolate reaches of these outer systems, the Demiurg have forged their civilization, thriving in isolation for millennia. Their homeworld is said to be a bastion of industry, heavily urbanized, with sprawling cities and vast mining operations. It is likely a rich world in minerals and resources, fueling the Demiurg's highly advanced technology and industry. However, little is confirmed about the species or the specifics of their planet or its exact location, with some suggesting it may be hidden behind vast nebula or cloaked by the region's unstable stellar conditions. Galactically, the Demiurg's influence is largely confined to the fringes of the galaxy, often encountered in sectors where few other Xenos races dare to venture. Their fleets are typically small, well organized, and focused on trade and expansion rather than direct confrontation. The Demiurge maintain a network of trade routes across the galactic outskirts, forging alliances and conducting exchanges with other alien species such as the Tau and even certain factions of the Orks. Though their presence is not as widespread as that of more prominent factions like the Imperium or the Eldar, the Demiurge are known to navigate the galaxy with careful precision, often remaining neutral or serving as mercenaries in conflicts that do not directly threaten their interests. Demiurge preferred the Demiurge's preferred method of engagement revolves around subterfuge, covert actions, and clandestine trading, making them elusive players in the larger galactic struggles. So they're like America during the Cold War.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, very much like don't engage too much, don't waste too much resources. I like when we did the Votan episode, we were talking about like the waste of the void, or like how part of their doctrine, how their belief was like don't waste anything because the void is unforgiving. Every drop of water can be recycled and reused. Everything can be, because in space that's all you got. um, but then that kind of like goes even further where you never really see them around anyone. Why be around dangerous places when your whole point is like you're just trying to maximize profit, minimize losses, avoid
Yeah,
war.
if I have something, or if you have something I need, I'll give you what you don't have. If you have
Yeah.
something I don't need, then I don't care about you. Shut up.
Yeah, and like, man, the galaxy has so many asteroids where it's like you mine that thing that like no one's around, and then you go sell all that resources to some Xenos. Like, definitely, that's a great business technique.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
got to
need
mind
to,
that thing.
yeah,
I mean,
but
these are honestly the smartest so far. Instead of like actively fighting the Imperium, which they know is a losing battle against the steamroller,
yeah,
just stay out of the way.
yeah,
You know,
and it helps too that they are like pretty fleet based. As we kind of mentioned, we don't really know. We know they kind of came from this outer rim area, but hard to say.
I like them. They're pretty
I
cool.
like them. Yeah.
I hate them though, due to the
Wow.
xenophobia. But like, they're cool until they weren't human.
Yeah. No, like I like learning about the culture and beliefs of the Xenos that we destroy, and that way it's like more meaningful. Like, look at what I wrecked.
Yeah, look at these idiots.
Yeah.
Also, talking about their home planet, I bet a lot of them live underground. Like, there's no way they don't have like an artificial sun underground that like
Oh
does like
yeah.
24-hour rotations and stuff. Like, there's no way they have to
Yeah.
be living underground.
come on.
Filthy.
Just because the Demiurge are a sci-fi substitute for dwarves doesn't mean they all live underground. It's a harmful stereotype.
They
It's
live
an
in the
accurate
cold, hard
stereotype.
halls of metal.
It's the
Oh,
accurate
naked.
stereotype. I believe it. So, also, by the way, just want to announce we haven't heard Gerald do a voice for the Chrome or the
Oh
Demiurge so
shit.
far.
Yeah.
Come on, Gerald, do a Chrome voice right now.
I think. Okay, I think I got one.
I was really waiting for you to like make a noise, kind of like a fan belt on a car that's broken, and it's like because it sounded like
Couple thuds in there.
gung, 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 gung.
Oh,
That's all I got.
I thought they
damn.
were maybe, but I heard that they screeched real loud, and
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I like screeching real loud.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
I just
Definitely a
read the
hobby.
garbled screeching of the Vox comms, so that's what came to mind.
Yeah, I appreciate
Hmm.
that.
The Demiurge are way more cultured than that, though. Their society is organized into brotherhoods, close knit communal groups that live and work together aboard massive Stronghold or Bastion class vessels. Each brotherhood seems to act independently, managing their own resources and alliances. While the full details of Demiurg belief systems are unclear, their actions suggest a culture deeply rooted in craftsmanship, resource stewardship, and mutual support within the brotherhood. Their avoidance of imperial space and generally defensive posture suggests a culture emphasis on caution, self-sufficiency, and respect for autonomy. Unlike many other spacefaring civilizations, the Demiurg are not imperialistic. They seek wealth and stability rather than conquest. Their reputation as honorable traders with the Tau hints at a belief in fair trading and long-term partnerships rather than opportunistic raiding or exploitation. Yeah.
This makes them sound like the uppity versions of compared to the Leagues of Votan.
Uppity is a strange word to use there, and I respect it a lot, Gerald.
Is
But
that a short
fully
joke?
no. I mean, it could be. It is now. That was really good. It is a short joke.
Well, sir, you need to raise your standards.
I just at some point though, I feel like I really don't want to, stoop so low.
God damn, I can boot both of you.
Don't make me get short with you. Oh wait, I already am.
God damn it, God damn it.
You could boot both of us. Gerald
Yeah.
would probably be a lot easier to kick out though, because
Yeah.
or
But
maybe I'd
then
have more surface area because I'm taller.
I have the technology to do this. Don't threaten me.
And speaking of, we're not, to quote Patrick Starr of all people, we are not barbarians. We have technology. And so the Demiurg. Demiurg technology is highly advanced, particularly in the fields of mining, energy manipulation, and spacecraft engineering. Like I said, rock and stone. Their Stronghold class and Bastion class vessels are marvels of engineering, acting as mobile factories, processing plants, and mining bases, using complex electromagnetic systems. Please edit that out in posts, whoever does this. They are capable of scooping interstellar hydrogen to fuel their engines, a method still not fully understood by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Their weapons and tools reflect their industrial origins: energy drills, cutting beams, adapted for combat, and automated mining craft that double as attack drones. Notably, their mastery of ion technology led to the Tau's adoption of powerful ion weapons, a pivotal advancement for the younger race. The Demiurg's innovation extends to their survey glasses, capable of detecting mineral deposits up to 2 kilometers deep, showcasing a blend of practicality and cutting-edge science unmatched by many other species. So again, this is just like uppity Leagues of Votan.
I like it, man. They just want to be out in space mining and selling stuff, and their technology reflects it. Like their weapons of war, like, yeah, I guess this drill would definitely kill somebody if I drilled into their face.
Yeah, they're
Energy
clearly
laser cuts metal and cuts human. Perfect.
yeah, but they're clearly like minor Xenos. They mine and they're minor, but they're also
Fuck.
minor Xenos because they're minor Xenos. They mine and they're short.
Yeah. No, wow, that really puts them into a whole new
Yeah,
perspective there. Thanks there.
yeah. I thought of that joke and I couldn't find a good time to say it, so I figured throw it out there, man.
See what sticks. That's what I always do
Yeah,
with jokes.
yeah,
Just throw them
yeah.
out there, hope to God
So
they work.
I'll make a funny one at some point, and it'll make up for all the other shitty ones.
Yeah. I like the George Costanza technique that as soon as you do make the good joke, you quickly leave the room and you leave on that high note.
Yeah. Well, I
Mhm.
sit there quietly and I nod while people laugh at my joke. That way
Oh,
they're
don't
like,
enjoy
oh
it
yeah.
too much.
Well, I
That's what'll
nod
get
to
you.
let them know they have to continue.
Oh.
Yeah. I typically send out like a fleet of jokes.
And
I'm not.
much like I'm nodding now for you to continue.
Yes, and I nod at fleet. Stronghold Stronghold class commerce
That's a
vessel.
joint fuck up, I think.
Yeah, that was. Why is it the Stronghold class commerce vessel? Okay, it's called Stronghold class. Freaks. Stronghold class commerce vessels are the ironclad behemoths of the Demiurg's hidden fleets. Though smaller than their mightiest ships, these grim leviathans. Wait, then who's. Mark, I'm confused. Whose mightiest ships?
Their own. I think they have like spaceports and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I was just a little confused. Okay. My apologies. Edit all of that out. I'm gonna restart. Stronghold class commerce vessels are the ironclad behemoths of the Demiurg's hidden fleets. Though smaller than their mightiest ships, these grim leviathans are non-etheless, vast, nonetheless, wow, vast, brooding with immense power and cloaked in unknowable technologies. Forged for ceaseless toil, these ships are vast moving foundries and ore processors, drifting through dead systems and silent asteroid fields. Their presence is heralded by swarms of mining pods, automated haulers, and prospector drones, ghost fleets harvesting the void. Often a stronghold prowls the blackness with its prow facing a distant star, scooping life from the interstellar wastes. Most will vanish without a trace when confronted, yet some lash out with a brutal, merciless fury that speaks of ancient grudges. Lumbering but stubborn, these ships are fortresses in their own right, hurling swarms of retrofitted mining craft like iron hornets at those foolish enough to close the distance. Their enemies, mysterious and alien, bend the void itself, using fields of electromagnetic force to scoop and propel hydrogen in ways even the Adeptus Mechanicus cannot fathom. The tech priests hunger to seize one intact, but none have succeeded. In battle, strongholds unleash death with savage efficiency. Cutting beams scythe through steel, lances and torpedoes, tear apart enemy ranks, and thunderous macro cannons roar across the void. Every known clash between kin and orc vessels ends in bloodshed, and across the scattered stars more than one renegade lord has bartered blood and gold to see demiurge vessels break worlds as mercenaries for hire. Honestly, though, you think they'd ever sell one?
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah, like if the price is right, maybe.
They'd probably give you like an old one though, like you're buying like a
Yeah.
1998 used like
Beat up.
Toyota Corolla type shit.
Yeah, carpet's ripped up a little bit, weird
Yeah,
stains.
mold underneath. Like
Yeah.
they let it crust. Yeah,
Fucking let it crust.
maybe we could sell that as a Lorehammer shirt.
Let
Let it crust.
it crust. Ah, yikes. Yeah, I'm in.
Underwear,
Yeah.
underwear. You put the let it crust on the back.
Oh, I thought the front, but that's just personal. I
I
guess.
either or, I maybe you could have it on both sides so that way you could let
Yeah.
both items crust.
Let
What do
let
That
the
way,
wearer choose.
that way you
you
can
decide?
support both Nurgle and Slanesh in the same advertisement.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah. Awful. I don't care what underwear you wear, honestly. Just as long as if I do release underwear, it's my underwear. But I
Yeah,
don't have it yet, so I don't care.
let's do it.
Bastion class commerce vessels. So this is slightly smaller slightly smaller construct of the shadowed fleet of the Demiurge. Though lesser in scale to their kin, they are still colossal by human standards, bristling with firepower and alien resilience far beyond the crude fleets of lesser races. As part of the elusive prospectors, known only in fragmented whispers of the Demiurge, these vessels drift at the fringes of known space, sometimes seen in uneasy alliance with Tau, sometimes bought by desperate Imperial commanders willing to risk damnation. Most haunt the far eastern rim, yet even there they are rare specters. Built more for asteroid harvesting than refinement, bastions seem to trade raw bounty between vessels. Though no living soul has witnessed the transaction and returned sane, their internal systems are grimly automated, needing few breathing crew. Rogue traders speak of hushed tones of brotherhoods that haunt bastion hulls, singular tribes adrift the void-bored cathedrals of industry. While greater strongholds shelter multiple brotherhoods, their kinship rights and rivalries remain unknown. Bastions often form smaller defensive pacts, guarding the large stronghold masters like ancient beasts circling a dying fire. Armed with savage lancers, skin-rendering cutting beam, thunderous weapons batteries, bastions become lethal at close range, disgorging swarms of mining probes and attack craft to tear at the enemy formation. Their dark hearts fuel terrible engines, scooping stellar gases and driving them through the ship's core to power both propulsion and the beams that carve asteroid or enemies into silent, drifting wreckage. I like these. They're just as much like a moving factory and production facility, kinda refinery facility, as much as they are like a war machine or whatever. They kind of remind me of the Mechanicum Forge arcs. Maybe that's not the right word for them, but they have these great forge ships that they use. I'll find
Are
it.
these ships all, are they manned or are they automated? Because their entire fleet seems to be like drones alongside them. So even like, could it be that the big mining ships are also drone based?
Yeah, like you still have the captain and stuff who's like telling the drones to do stuff, and he might captain every now and again. But like as a nice sci-fi or fantasy trope is dwarves are typically small populations and stuff, so same can be applied here.
Yeah.
I wonder
Um,
how much of this like automation, especially in like the ships and everything, kind of bled into the use of a abominable intelligence that the
ooh,
Leagues of Oton do in ninth edition, or started in ninth edition.
yeah, like yeah.
Hold on just a second.
Do you want me to
I
keep?
was looking for a quote for Demiurg, but it kept on leading me to Leagues of Voton.
You could just do it. It's the same thing.
But the problem is, if I do Leagues of Voton, I'm either defaulting to another Scottish accent, or I will attempt a very horrible Scandinavian accent, and I don't want to do what
I mean,
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do the Swedish chef from the Demon Ross episode.
I
No,
don't want
No.
to be Swedish or Swedish.
Not even no, you don't.
I mean, okay, wait. So what accents do we say that League of Votan have? Like, are
they're
they
they're dwarves in space, so you can probably.
like?
Yeah.
But yeah, but when you say that's like a Scottish-ish accent,
I mean, if people want to hear my Scottish voice again, I'll gladly
well, no,
deliver.
I was thinking realistically, since the Demiurg are like Votan ripoffs, we can make them Irish.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, I can do an Irish accent too. So that's no issue. Let's see here.
Ursats wants to New Zealand. Get a vote in the chat. Whoever wins gets to hear the accent, and that's what we make
Yeah.
it because we decide.
Yeah.
You see, Ursat's the only New Zealand accent I can figure is Timwara Morrison, or also known as Django Fett. I am not good at replicating that, so you probably don't want to hear me say it.
I want it now. I want that specifically.
Oh gosh,
They're all clones.
oh,
They're all clones
Okay.
anyways. Come on, you love it.
Yeah, they are.
okay. I'm looking for a quote here. Leagues of Voton quotes.
Worst case,
All
Gerald.
right, here.
Gerald can edit it out.
I'm not the one that edits it. Okay.
Oh right.
All right, this is the slogan of the Emir Conglomerate, one of the several Leagues of Voton. They're probably one of my favorites, but anyways. All right. Django Fett. Let me get into the mindset here. Any Chthonian logger can spot valuable ores, rich particulate, or bountiful rad built. But to truly understand the worth of the prize, to picture its finest uses and make them real, that takes Emir eyes.
Nice. Okay.
It was. It sounded good. Ursats, rate it.
Ursats, we need your input. now.
Let's rate it. You said you would.
We're waiting so patiently.
A little too patiently at this point.
Yeah, fuck him at this point.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a pro. I can judge. Where's our judgment?
I need my judgment pronto so I can repent.
Sir, may I please have some more judgment?
Just a little bit of judgment. Just
Close,
enough
but
to
not
get me
quite.
through the day.
Close, but
Yep.
not quite. That's close enough.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Good
I'll
enough
take
for the
my,
girl.
I'll take my
Gerald
grudge
goes
token.
with.
I'd say like it's a C then, as like the rating. Like if we were
I'll
rating
take it.
too Australian. There's no such thing as too Australian.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about their military. Because I have no idea how to segue this any way else. The Demiurg military is a formidable and here I am already fucking it up. Is a formidable and enigmatic force built around the core principles of precision, strategy, and overwhelming firepower. Unlike many Xenos species that rely on raw numbers of ferocity, the Demiurg favor calculated and methodical warfare, often leveraging advanced technology to outclass their enemies. Their military forces are built around highly specialized units, each designed to fulfill a specific purpose with deadly efficiency. Demiurg warriors equipped in heavily armored exosuits are formidable on the battlefield, employing both ranged and close quarters tactics with equal ease. Their weapons, utilizing advanced Xenos technologies, are often devastatingly effective, with railgun based rifles and explosive munitions capable of cutting through even the toughest defenses. Their focus is on systematic, overwhelming strikes, preferring to outmaneuver and outgun their enemies with precision rather than engaging in prolonged conflicts. The Demiurg also rely heavily on their extensive use of support units, from specialized drones to massive war machines that can crush opposition through sheer force. Their ships, such as the Stronghold class commerce vessels, serve dual purposes as both mining stations and heavily armed fortresses, often taking part in battles to protect their interests or expand their influence. On the ground, their forces can also rely on large, heavily fortified structures, established forward bases, and defensive positions that allow them to dominate strategic locations. In battle, they are highly disciplined and organized, displaying an unyielding resolve that makes them dangerous opponents, often allied with other factions such as the Tau or mercenary groups, but always prioritizing their own survival and expansion. While their military might is precise and calculated, it is also ruthlessly efficient, leaving little room for mistakes or weakness in their ranks.
I genuinely I wasn't ready for them to be like this unique in relation to the into the Votan, because like they have the same kind of like unity, but they are just kind of the kin from what they used to be. They were mercenaries. They did whatever they could, and like it's like, are they active in 40K still?
Man, this is we'll get to it at the end, kind of.
Okay,
We're so
sorry.
close to it. No, all good. These are all valid questions, man, and I maybe should have formatted this differently, but I feel like we need the information before we fully.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all of the things that we're saying. Like they all have very positive galactic relations.
Fuck.
The Demiurge.
You get points for trying.
I thought it was good. You know, it was exactly what we wanted in a segue. A segue about galactic relations. The Demiurge, elusive scions of the void, tread a perilous and secretive path among the galaxy's great powers. With the Imperium of Man, their dealings are cold and distant. Imperial scholars misidentify them as mere Xenos, while rogue traders whisper of rare bargains struck in the darkness beyond the astro astronomicons astronomicons. There we go. Light. Among the Tau, the Demiurge find a strange kinship, offering ancient technologies and the silent council, though they remain ever apart. Their loyalty bought but never truly given. In the Tau, lexicon, the Demiurg are known as Bentusin, which translates as wise gifted ones. The Orks, sensing in the Demiurg a wealth ripe for pillage, clash with them wherever paths cross, only to find themselves torn apart by merciless counterstrikes. Toward the Eldari and Drukari, the Demiurg maintain a wary distance, recognizing in the Eldar a hunger as deep and predatory as the void itself. Of the Tyranids they speak in grim, cautious terms, for even the greatest stronghold may not withstand the endless swarm. With the Necrons, however, encounters are shrouded in terror and silence, ancient machines awakening in the deep places of the galaxy, against whom the Demiurg hold no illusions of survival. In all things, the Demiurg remain enigmatic, traitors, warriors, and survivors whose true allegiances are known only to themselves and perhaps to the cold, uncaring stars.
Cool. They seem really, to be one of the few Xenos that kind of work with other Xenos willingly. They're not going around invading planets. Like when it comes to resource gathering, that's not their style. Like there's so much other stuff they can just go harvest and then sell you the bounty. So
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Like generally speaking, they don't the fact that they actually like understand how horrible the Necron are, rather than everybody else who's like, we could fight them. You give us the opportunity, we could get them.
we'll get them.
I mean, we will because we're humanity, but
Yeah. I have faith.
yeah,
Faith
it's
and
not
hate.
faith. Yeah, faith and hate. There we go.
Yeah.
But the Demiurg are all right for filthy backward savages.
Yeah, so now we get to the canon conflicts of what the fuck are they actually. So let me take you down a little journey before we open up your guys' thoughts. So once upon a time in the 40k times, we had the squats, and eventually around second, third edition, whatever, they were squatted. They were done away with. And then, probably around third, fourth edition, the Demiurg popped up. And the squats, they are abhumans. They are human, like, they are the genetic line of humans just on gravity high, dense worlds. They shrink down, they condense. They also did some genetic modification to, like, allow themselves to live on those types of planets. But yeah, then around third and fourth, you get the Demiurg that came out, and they were full on minor Xenos that kind of allied with the Tau. And this, I think, was their kind of attempt to do another squat kind of concept. Like, this is take two. The first time didn't work. Let's see if this hits a little better. And I don't think it didn't hit well. I think most people liked it. I just don't think they really had anything to do with it, anywhere to go with it. And then out came the Leagues of Votan, and then they're like, okay, so how do we backstep? Do we canon? What do we do with these guys here? Like, because this is all kind of the same genetic legacy, or not genetic legacy, but the same kind of idea legacy of Squat to Demiurg and then to Votan. So the final piece of the puzzle that I'll kind of really separate here for just distinction. Yeah, we could call them the Leagues of Votan for sure. We could call them just some minor Xenos, but I think they're so far away from abhumans and Votan now genetically that most humans wouldn't consider them humanoids or abhumans, you know? And I say this because when we look at artwork, they're almost like rock people. Like they have very crevassy, rocky features in their artwork. And that it's almost like the Votan, did they genetically modify themselves to be a little more stony? Maybe instead of doing gravity mining on a planet, maybe they're doing asteroid mining. So they want to have this thicker skin. But I think they just took it too far where, like when you look at them, you don't see short humans. You see like a rock human. Like the Thing almost would be the good skin texture.
It's
Say it with me
time.
now. Say it
Oh.
with me now. Rock and Stone!
Rocket Stone.
Stone. So that's kind of my thought and on all of that. Like we've had this kind of idea of what are the dwarves in 40k. We've seen a couple different representations, and ultimately they tried to blend them all, and you kind of get some weird little things happening. But also, you can make it work still.
I mean,
Well, here's another.
go on.
Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
All right.
I got a long tangent, so go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. I could fully believe that the squat are like realistically just split off mutations, right? Because at least the Leagues of Votan, they have home planets, they have stuff like that. So far from what we're seeing, the Demiurg are all in space. So realistically, you're sitting in a spaceship for all your life, and you have like these clone mutate, like you're cloning over and over and over again, and suddenly, this astral radiation's hitting you constantly. Something's gotta go wrong, and you turn into Rock Boy, and you
Yeah, and
start
now
throwing
if you don't
rocks.
lotion your skin,
Yeah,
it's a bad day. It
like
cracks.
I want to see what they look like underneath. I feel like we should grab them and we should rip them apart while they're still alive.
It gets the radiation on its skin, or else it gets the nids again.
Yes. Oh my
we
god.
don't ha- we don't have like a lot of official artwork or minis, but I am gonna pull up some stuff here.
Gerald, you make all the good references. I'm gonna steal them from you at some point. I promise.
You're more than welcome to, because I'm pretty sure I've stolen several anyways.
It's
While Mark is showing us these lovely, interesting artwork of Demiurg squats, about them being squatted from what's second edition or second edition. Apparently, they actually made a comeback in the Necromunda game. Their lore
yeah.
is fleshed out more in by, I think it's like, I think it's like the rule book for the game. Arbiter Ian, he's a really good lore tuber himself. Not as good as Lorehammer, of course, but he talks about the squats on Necromunda, how they made a comeback, and you actually do see quite a few squat models resurface as
Yeah, quite a few.
Forge World resin, but
Yeah,
like
bounty
they actually
hunting heroes.
resurface. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
yeah, they do come back and have some kind of background significance, despite what the uh, original second edition did to them.
Is Necromunda lore accurate?
It is a connected side game set in 40K, but it is a instead of like these giant army battles, it's treated more like a
Oh,
gang warfare, almost kill team kind of
okay.
in scale.
So, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I think that was the general vibe
Yeah.
of it.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that one Dwemer that's alive in is it not Oblivion, Morrowind? The one Dwemer that's alive in Morrowind that you can go talk to and he tells you about his past? Or is it like they actually have like a story there?
Um, as far as the resurfaced squats, I think they have like some kind of back story. Um, and I think the different heroes have like some connections to different houses or different leagues or different kin across Necromunda itself.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
so that's kind of interesting that we're talking about the Demiurg and the squats, and we thought that all just kind of got molded into the Leagues of Votan, but here Necromunda squats making a comeback. So
Why not Demiurg?
what? Yeah, so what do we make of this? Or why not Demiurg? Why not just make them another Tau subfaction like Kroot or
Yeah.
Vespids or others?
Well, because they can't be mind controlled.
you shut up over there. It's pheromonal. They do it because they find the ethereal sexy.
I find them sexy too, but you don't see me going, "Oh, they're so right. They know all about war." They don't know anything. They're cowards.
Yeah, no,
you're too strong.
I think I
You're
like.
too strong-willed to be part of our discount covenant.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have noticed that, and I think it'd be cool if the Demiurg were like, "Oh, those they're nids. Ugh, we gotta wipe them out. They killed us," instead of the fear. But at the same time, I get the fear. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if they had the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana reference there.
Yeah, nice, classic.
Thank you.
Yeah, no sisters, hopefully. Just all fan yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the Demiurg being tied to the Votan. I think that was a poor move in my mind. To try to tie it all through, but it works. But it just is like it just wasn't necessary. You can have two cool things.
That's
Mhm.
fair. It is, but like I feel like it opens up more lore if you have them based off of the squats, just for the sole fact that you can like, if they do ever decide to go anywhere with it for whatever reason, they can like,
Yeah.
why are they different? How are they different? What makes them better or
This is your
worse?
ab human, just in case you want to ab human while you're ab humaning.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants abhumans.
Yeah.
See, because regular vanilla abhumans just aren't enough anymore. You got to have the
No.
real ab in the abhuman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear it in Wall Street. You hear it in Washington. You know, where are abhumans?
Fuck. Yeah. The last section we'll talk about with the Demiurg is their representation minis. Man, I've said it before on this show. I'll say it again. Mantic Games, go check out their Forge Fathers. This is it for sure for the Demiurg.
Or I mean, you can just buy Leagues of Votan or the squat battles.
No,
You're
no, no. You
commanders.
can go to hell if you do that. That's where you can go.
You're a
No,
filthy hellborn if you do that.
yeah, no, like I just think
I'm
they're different. I think they're different enough that like there's enough either genetic drift between the Votan and these guys that even though yes, they are kind of connected, they're just as different from Votan as Votan are from humans. That's kind of the way I see them, even in lore, even the way they look. Like it just yeah, they have a lot of the same ideas and same technologies and stuff, but yeah, it's very different still.
Yeah, they're just so gross and hairy and short. I agree. So different.
Yeah. Purge them.
Yeah,
As for rules, I think any firstborn rules would be sweet for them. Where yeah, they're strong, they're tough, they're wearing power armor, they got some bolters, whatever. But you know, rules are dime a dozen. Fucking, they change. Who cares? Rules are for guys that like to read numbers.
yeah. I mean, you can make them. You can make them move slower and like just they're faster and they also have like more melee attacks. But that would be like the only changes I would make if you're gonna do that.
Sure. Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Well, let's move on to the last Xenos of this episode. The Demiurg, very cool, love them, but adios for now.
Yeah, we're
We're
gonna build a wall. We're gonna make the Demiurge pay for it.
yeah, and they won't be allowed in. We'll talk about the Enoulians.
So the Enoulians sound interesting. This is kind of proofreading here. All right, the Enoulians are a strange and spiteful race of thin, pale Xenos who haunt the shadowed edges of Imperial space. Though their bodies appear fragile, these beings possess a lethal efficiency born of desperation and enduring hatred. All right, these are starting to sound interesting. They are mercenaries, raiders, and assassins, drifting in the service of renegades and heretics alike, driven always by an ancient and implacable loathing for the Imperium of Man. Once a minor curiosity recorded by the first explorers of the Calixis sector, the Enoulians have grown into a rising threat, appearing in greater numbers and allying themselves with even more dangerous foes. To the Imperium scholars and hunters, the Enoulians are a species teetering on the brink of damnation. Their obsession with seemingly worthless relics, their strange rituals of service, and their increasing presence alongside the damned hosts of chaos has marked them for annihilation. Yet, like so many minor Xenos breeds before them, they prove difficult to root out entirely. Hiding in the dark spaces beyond charted stars, nursing their hatred like a slow burning fire.
I I really like how they look. Like it kind of reminds me of like a or just even how they are. It reminds me of like pagan ideologies. They're
Yeah,
very they got these old relics and like ideologies from the age old times.
yeah. There's a little bit in here where they are like strangely spellbound by Imperial Eagles, where they just like look at them and they're like, yeah, okay, let's just look at this for the rest of our life. I just want to hold this.
Really? Oh, okay. So why do they hate us so much?
Well, no, I think we hate them and they just want our things. I guess.
Oh, hate us because they ain't us.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we got a cool little piece of artwork here that I pulled up for the Enoulians, but in case you're not looking, here's a little bit about their appearance.
That was such an excellent segue, and I wasn't ready for it. Small and wiry, the Enoulians stand little taller than a juvenile human. Their smooth, pale yellow skin lending them an almost ghost-like appearance in the dim light. Deceptively fragile in form, they possess an uncanny agility and resilience, with nearly frictionless bodies that allow them to twist, slip, and strike with horrifying precision. Their featureless faces, with only slits for mouths and a nose, and great pupilled eyes, evoke unease in all who gaze upon them. Communication among their kind is a mixture of high-pitched sounds and complex gestures, but even those considered primitive by their peers can utter broken low Gothic when necessary. Enoulian physiology is singularly adapted to their predatory style of warfare. Their bodies are marked by an evolutionary focus and on evasion and ambush. The palms of their hands and soles of their feet alone retain any true traction, allowing them to cling and move across surfaces in ways few species can match. In melee, their fluid motion and deadly whisper lines, their razor-thin melee weapons, turn them into whirling killers near impossible to contain or predict in the chaos of close battle or close combat. I just have to ask: do you think who would win in a fight, 100 humans or one Enoulian?
It's like fighting children. It's just like it comes down to that man's willpower. You only lose if you stop kicking.
That's fair. Yeah, and those filthy Enoulians won't know what hit them.
Yeah. They're kind of interesting. I don't know how much stock you should put into this concept, but their hands and soles of their feet alone retain any true traction. I don't think I would take that as far as like Spider-Man, where he's like walking up walls and stuff, you know? But also maybe that would be kind of cool. These like short kind of ambush predators are always crawling on ceilings and stuff and jumping down and biting your ears. Fuck.
Especially since they're supposed to be like, I feel like you're supposed to get like that what's it called, the fear of something that's almost human but not human.
Oh,
Um, Uncanny
yeah.
Valley.
Yeah, that one.
They're supposed to look like kids, and they kind of have like a Native American vibe to their at least like clothing that we see.
Yeah.
It's just they're skinwalkery,
Yeah.
and I vibe with it.
Their powers and
Y'all ever,
ability.
Oh, what was that, Joe?
I was gonna say, y'all ever actually see the Skinwalker or suspected Skinwalker videos on like a TikTok or Instagram?
Yeah.
I
Weird
love
stuff.
watching those at like 2 in the morning, just freaking me the fuck out.
Yeah, and then you like
Weird
you get the
stuff.
hair on the back of your neck standing up because it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
just scary enough to be real,
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
just like Obama.
Yeah. Oh my god. Powers and abilities. In combat, the Enoulians favor deception and overwhelming force, striking from the shadows before melting away like smoke. Their shard weapons, sleek firearms that launch crystalline projectiles capable of piercing armor, are prized for their silent lethality. When forced into hand-to-hand battle, Enoulians become terrifying sight, using their near frictionless bodies to glide across the foes and overwhelm them with a flurry of impossibly quick, coordinated attacks. Beyond raw physical prowess, the Enoulians exhibit an unnatural ability to predict and exploit enemy weaknesses. Attacking in packs with eerie synchronicity, their minds seemed attuned to sudden violence, slipping easily from calculated calm to bloodthirsty frenzy, especially in the presence of Imperial iconography. Some, among the Ordo Xenos, theorized darker abilities slumber within their race, gifts not yet fully understood or fully unleashed.
Are
Neat.
we? How recently have we seen these? Like, have they been?
Um, yeah, I feel like they're a big part of like um, fuck. What is like the Abram Gaunt, or what's the other guy? The other famous guard books. I feel like they come up a lot in
Cypress King?
those. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, we just got to get rid of them. I think. You know.
Yeah, either way, I don't care where they come from. I know where they're going.
Yeah, where they into the
Right
ocean,
back.
which is
Yeah.
the warp. But
Yes.
also not entirely. Also, I like when you look them up and you went to images. One of the first results was our video right now.
Yeah, that's funny. I was wrong. This one source is Dark Heresy, Creatures of the Anathema. So Dark Heresy stuff.
But I wouldn't say that you're
The
wrong. I think
Calexis
you're right.
sector. That's what
Oh,
I was kind of thinking of. The Calexis sector is like one of those highly developed ones where it's like the Ghoul stars or the Halo stars. But yeah, this could definitely get its own episode for sure.
oh,
Look at all these different little things.
yeah, very nice. I like that ad for that family.
Yeah, very nice looking family.
Yeah, they had a great looking time. And oh wait, it's not my turn. Oh, never mind. I was gonna segue so good. All right.
Well, you're asking about where they are now, so here's a good way to talk about that. So, the Enoulians were first recorded during the grim early conquest of the Calixis sector, a minor Xenos presence swiftly scattered or destroyed by the relentless advance of humanity. Yet in the forgotten corners of the world they endured, brooding over their defeat and awaiting the moment to strike. Originating perhaps in the haunted expanse of the Halo stars, their emergence from isolation was neither accidental nor benign. It was a slow, deliberate run fueled by a festering hatred. Now their numbers rise and their boldness grows. Where once they were rare, isolated raiders, the Enoulians now appear in organized war bands fighting alongside chaos cults, heretics, and pirates. Their once shattered race seemed to find grim purpose in the service of the arch enemy, and whispers abound among the Inquisition that the Enoulians, in their thirst for vengeance, are sliding inexorably into the jaws of damnation. And since I've been going on this whole discount covenant tangent, I'm getting like the image of like cracked out grunts with a strong hatred for humanity.
Very nice. I like it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think these guys have the same shopping list as like Diddy. It's all baby oil, and they're
Ah.
like that's why they're so lubricated.
Yes. So slippery.
So
Yes.
salty. They're
Same
they're
party to Diddy. And
same
their
party.
children looking too small, so
Oh
like
my
they want
god,
that in the.
no!
Oh
No.
no, those poor Nulians.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Hate to
They're
see
being
it. Well,
groomed.
no, actually, I love to see it when it's a Xenos.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Fuck them. I mean, don't
don't,
fuck them.
don't,
That's
no.
heresy. Tell
Oh,
me about the homeworld and
Oh,
galactic geography of these bad boys.
another
well,
tick box in our damnation towards Slanesh. Here we go.
One
yeah.
more notch.
Bingo, bingo. Yeah, and they just got to go home, really, to their homeworld and galactic geography. The Enoulians' origins remain shrouded in mystery, though scholars suspect they hail from the fringes of the Calixis sector, possibly from the uncharted regions beyond the Halo stars. Their homeworld is thought to be a harsh, barren planet, one that could explain their highly adaptive and resourceful nature. This world, if it exists, likely sits on the border of the known galaxy, isolated from the greater galactic powers. The Enoulians' deep hatred for the Imperium, coupled with their elusive nature, suggests a history of isolation, possibly from prior encounters with humanity's expansion. They are often encountered in the Malefian subsector, with their presence concentrated around remote systems and asteroid fields. As such, the Enoulians have become notorious in the more lawless parts of the galaxy, where they can move undetected and strike without warning, knowing the perfect time and place to strike. Their military operations and mercenary activities further suggests that they have established a network of hidden bases or colonies across various worlds in the Calixus sector. Though not territorial in the conventional sense, the Enoulians show a penchant for occupying asteroid belts, forgotten ruins, and the dark corners of space where few venture. These outposts serve as launch points for their sporadic raids and mercenary contracts, where they often form temporary alliances with other criminal or heretical groups. The Enoulians' ability to operate far from the prying eyes of the Imperium, coupled with their preference for secrecy and their unpredictable nature, allows them to remain an enigma in galactic affairs. As their influence grows, particularly among Chaos-aligned forces, the Enoulians may become an even more insidious threat to the Imperium and other galactic powers. Honestly, I like the more I read, the more we've been reading about them, the more I'm like, there's no way the Imperium did this. And even if they did, maybe it was like 30K, not really 40K, because we don't know anything about them. But it's like, what did old humanity do?
Yeah. What did they do to piss them off so much? Yeah, it's not like they were genocided in the Great Crusade. And like, fuck. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like we would know about them being genocided in the Great Crusade
Oh wait,
because
no, we
we
know
love talking about
what humanity did in M2. The Enoulians attended a Diddy party.
it. Oh no!
Yeah, went sideways.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh no.
Oh no!
yeah,
They got stuck on Epstein's island.
they did.
Oh no.
No.
It'll happen to the best Xenos, so it'll happen to the worst Xenos.
Mm.
Okay, cultures and beliefs. Enoulian culture remains a dark mystery defined by ritualistic collections of seemingly worthless relics, a ferocious loyalty to these baubles that defy rational understanding. Fossilized remains, shattered metal fragments, and scraps of ancient debris are more precious to them than any imperial throne or Ork trophy. What deeper significance these relics hold, whether cultural, spiritual, or something darker, remains a troubling unknown to Imperial scholars. Their hatred for the Imperium is not a matter of strategy or survival, it is a sacred drive, an unquenchable rage that burned into the heart of their society. Even the strongest willed Enoulians must struggle to restrain themselves at the sight of Imperial heraldry, often succumbing to berserker fury. It is this madness, this refusal to forget or forgive ancient sins, this increasingly binds them to the dark powers of chaos, threatening to transform a mercenary race into a fanatical enemy without mercy or restraint. This is kind of like a fun little lingering plot twist that they could kind of have this whole chaos tie and like, yeah, these kind of rituals and stuff. And eventually, if you are doing like dark magic, eventually you're going to find the dark gods.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to see them as like a maybe not a chaos kill team, or just like some kind of I don't know, just like some kind of addition to maybe not chaos demons, especially not chaos space marines as human, but I don't know, it makes one wonder.
I mean, they'd probably be kind of Slaneshi in the like principles of like wanting the perfect strike and like being like moving
Collecting.
fast and collecting and like
Sure.
stabbing and being just like because they don't shoot people, which is for nerds. But I like it's weird that they're so British. I wonder what other
Ah,
technology they have though.
That is an interesting question. What about their technology? Because again, they like to stabby stab, make stab stab. Though their garments are simple and homespun, the Enoulians wield technology far beyond what their primitive appearance suggests. Their shard weapons fire crystalline projectiles with terrifying accuracy and lethality, and they have proven adept at scavenging, repairing, and modifying weaponry from countless Xenos and human sources. Again, this makes me think of like cracked out grunts from Halo. Bandoliers is loaded with glimmering ammunition and devices of alien design are standard among even the lowliest fighters.
you
Their
can sniff
technological
the shards or you can shoot the shards. Your choice. Crush them
what
up
if
and sniff
you
them, or
what is gonna say? What if you sniff them while shooting them?
Then you're shooting twice, really.
Yeah, shooting
There you
up.
go. Even
Wow,
But if
twice
you
the
take too
better.
many, if you take too many, you might shard yourself.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Trust me.
and
Trust me,
and
you
especially
don't.
if these shard weapons act like the Needler from Halo, you got big explosions coming.
Yeah.
Their technological prowess, however, is overshadowed by its unsettling strangeness. Imperial Tech Priest reports shard weapon components growing warm to the touch or humming softly when examined, and there are rumors of Enoulian relics that react violently when exposed to warp energies. Whether their science stems from some lost ancient civilization or the meddling of dark powers is unknown, but in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Ignorance is often a prelude to disaster.
How do they taste? The shards, I mean, flavor wise.
Yeah, depends on the color of the shard. Purple's grape, red's strawberry, yellow's lemon, so on and so forth.
And what of
They're
brown?
all It's all fruit related. So brown is like, I don't know, coconut fucking husk.
The
Coconut
outside
husk,
of the
the outside
coconut.
of a kiwi,
Yeah.
maybe?
It's
Yeah, the
hairy.
outside of a kiwi. There we go. Yeah, now we're talking.
I was making a poop joke, but I mean,
Um,
yeah.
no, it's all their shard technology is fruit related. Why would you make poop flavored shard technology that
I
you
because
shoot up
because then
like
you stab
meth?
someone with it and they get an infection because it's poop.
But what if you mix up your shards and you stab yourself with the poop one instead of the meth one, and now you've
Then you get an
just
even greater high. You ever seen that thing
We
where
you
keep
homeless
clearly have
people?
never shot up in a
I'm
bathroom half
sorry.
strung out on meth.
Listen, listen. They put poop in those like the brown bags that people huff, and they sit there and they huff them. So
What?
realistically, you could get high. Yeah, that's a thing. So you could get high
No.
off poop. Yes,
are,
No.
you poop in a bag and you huff it.
No,
are
you
we falling
do?
to Slanesh or are we falling to Nurgle? What's going on
We
Yeah.
here?
got the best of both worlds.
Oh man, Bobby, how often do you do this?
I used to work at a gas station.
So you just huff shit all the
I
time.
mean, listen, man, that's all you can do. No, but I've
I
like
suppose,
I'm
I
saying this
suppose.
because I've seen people do it. It's a lot. Why are
See,
you going to a bathroom to like huff your own feces? That's chill.
do it,
But like,
do it out in public like the rest of us.
yeah, like go under an overpass like a normal person,
Yeah,
or
jeez.
behind a trash can so you could like huck it into the trash can. Like not in the bathroom, guy. Come on.
I swear Tosie's never going to let me hear the end of this. Anyways,
All right, listen.
more shard weaponry.
You know, and
This
if you boof too much of the shard weaponry, then you might shard yourself. Shard weaponry. Shard weaponry is a Xenos firearm commonly utilized by Enoulians, possibly a relic of their lost civilization. These weapons use small crystals as ammunition. When triggered, they force a powerful electrical current through the crystal, causing it to tear off small shards from shearing torsion pressure, or shear torsion pressure. Ejected at great velocities, the shards can rip open armor and tear into flesh with ease. The crystals can be interchangeably between shard weaponry variants, reducing logistics demand and reload time. The Whisper Lance.
Clever.
Thank you.
have a go.
Oh, they took him.
They
They took him. They took him. You got by the Velociraptors right there. That was horrifying.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
which are actually Utah Raptors, but that's. Anyways, the Whisperlands. Uh, Whisper Whisper lances are a metric long corded weapon used by the Xenos Enoulians with a nearly monomolecular edge. Used as Larites and Garots, these lines are deadly in combat. but only the Enoulians seem able to use them without heavily reinforced gloves. Likely from the natural oil secretions that render the majority of their bodies nearly frictionless.
Fuck, that's so funny. These fucking like slimy,
They're fucking greasy.
greasy guys are like resistant to this like thread of monomolecular filament that they use to strangle you. Like they're like, haha, too greasy.
Oh, greased up.
Greased
Yeah.
up. Slipped,
And imagine,
slipped
like,
right out of that one.
oh, and like imagine you try and like push it off and you can't because it's all greasy, and you're like,
Ah.
oh, and you just kind of want to die
Ah.
faster because you're all greased up.
Yeah.
You're all. Maybe they're the Diddy partiers.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
sure.
maybe the real Diddy partiers were the Enoulians we met along the way.
Maybe, my friend. We'll keep our eye out. We will.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a good joke when Gerald rubs his temples.
Oh, I know. I love doing that to people where they're like that flash of regret crosses their face. They're like, "Why are we friends with this guy again?"
It's almost all of my jokes with Gerald, and he loves them all equally.
Yeah. Mine are mostly sexual with Gerald, but he.
I
also,
started sexual with Gerald. I started worshiping Gerald, and Gerald didn't take kindly to it.
It's a shame that he likes women.
We could have our way, one way or another.
Yeah,
That sounded bad. I retract that statement,
Get in
Gerald.
line.
Consent is important. Consent is important. Get in line. Oh, I don't have a higher place.
like the military line. Is that how you say that?
Sure, let's go with that.
Close
Please
enough.
move on.
Close enough.
Enoulians' force are typically led by experienced warlords or mercenary commanders and frequently operate as hired guns in the service of criminal syndicates, heretical factions, or other Xenos species with whom they share mutual interest. They lack their standard currency system, complicates their recruitment process, their lack of, as they demand strange and seemingly meaningless items as payment, adding an air of unpredictability to their services. However, once they accept a contract, their loyalty to the cause becomes absolute, and they fight with fanatical determination. Despite their often alien motivations and seemingly inscrutable nature, the Enoulians are a force to be reckoned with, as they are highly effective. Guerrilla tactics and deadly efficiency makes them dangerous in any engagement. Their growing presence alongside the Chaos Forces and other heretical factions points to an ominous future where the Enoulians could become a significant threat. Yeah, fun. What a bunch of weird little collectors.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. Somebody should
Like, oh, look at this piece of string I found.
I'm so oily, so I can hold it.
That's my new best friend. Fuck them.
Yeah,
Fucking
man.
genocide them.
Yeah, kill them all. I'm from random planet in the Imperium #2, and I say kill them all.
I'm doing my part.
Beautiful.
I did jack shit.
I didn't do shit. Oh, it's a classic.
Oh man! But you know who else is doing their part? The Enoulians and their galactic relations. Because let me tell you.
These segues are doing their part, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, I really segued my way. They segued their way into my heart.
The Enoulians harbor a deep instinctive hatred for the Imperium man. So hey, humanity hates the Enoulians hate the humanity. It's a win-win. Attacking its forces whenever possible and refusing to serve any Imperial master. Their growing desperation and rage have driven many of their kind into the service of chaos, fighting alongside heretics and cultists with an alarming fervor. Though some scholars fear they are being manipulated into a darker fate, they view the Eldar with suspicion and occasional awe, recognizing them as an ancient and powerful, but utterly alien. Dealings are rare and fraught with mistrust. Toward the Dark Eldar, the Enoulians are openly hostile, seeing in them predators even more dangerous than the Imperium, and avoiding them unless forced into violent confrontation. Orks are treated as mindless beasts. Enoulian warbands either ambush them from afar or retreat entirely, unwilling to waste lives in brutal melee. Necrons terrify the Enoulians more than any other race, and encounters are few, but when faced with deathless legions, most Enoulians choose flight over battle. Tyranids are met with a cold pragmatism. If overrun, they fight fiercely, but if given any chance to escape a Hive Fleet's attention, they do so without hesitation. The Tau, for their part, are regarded with curiosity, but not friendship. Not friendship. These Tau to these Enoulians, they're not good people. Not good people. Some minor interactions have occurred, mainly through black market arms deals or indirect cooperation, but the Enoulians remain too chaotic and hateful to fully embrace the Tau's idea of unity. For the greater good.
These Enoulians hate Taos, and maybe we have a little more in common than we thought initially.
Let our hate not only drive us, but also bind us.
Exactly. Also, I think it's, if there's one thing 40K was missing, it was large quantities of child soldiers. So it's good that we have those in the Enoulians.
Yeah.
If there's one good thing about war, it's children being involved. Not only
Yeah, no, they're great at it.
as warriors, yeah, and children yearn for the mines. They're short. They're fast. They're covered in baby oil for whatever reason.
No one wants to shoot a kid, so that's pretty you don't need to give them bulletproof vests anymore.
Exactly, and you fuel them up with some old Rambo movies, and they're in.
Send them on their way.
Yeah,
that's how you train an army of Enoulians, right there.
Rambo movies and maybe drugs. Probably drugs. The crystals are drugs. Let's be honest. They're crushing them up and snorting them.
Yeah.
So
one of my wildest fucking encounters with a 40K player was I met him off Reddit. I put a Reddit post. I'm like, hey, looking to build my 40K group out. So this guy shows up. That was
your first mistake, Mark.
I make many mistakes, man. So he shows up, actually an okay guy. Kind of almost seems like he's weathered. Let's put it that way. He looks older than he should be. He's a little worn. His army, though, he was playing Eldar, and on the bases, he had these awesome crystals. And then the Eldar were painted so crazy, like such bright, crazy colors. And everything was just to look at was just like crystals everywhere. And he was telling me about how, they like these crystals on their home world. They're super valuable to them. They'll do anything to get these crystals. And it was only later at the end of this friendship that I find out that guy was doing crystal meth. So, but he had an army themed for it, so I'm like, fucking tight. At least he knows what I like.
Crystal meth themed army? Fuck yeah. This guy's great.
Yeah.
This guy's great.
I thought so too. And it was too bad because I honestly only put these connections together months after I had stopped hanging out with him. He was one of those guys who came into my life and faded just as quick, and I never seen or heard from him again like a ghost. But I always, because of the meth, he's probably dead in a ditch because of the meth. Yeah,
or fully recovering, but he needed to cut everyone else off. It's the meth. The meth did. Yeah. It's shocking that he had money for meth and 40K.
I think he was recovering. He's I'm a good boy. I got the recovering addict vibe, and then something must have set him off the fucking rail. And anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's Enoulians.
Okay. And meth. Meth.
Yeah, meth. That's meth. Well, fun episode of Lorehammer. It's fun learning about these Xenos. It was fun kind of trying to expand them a little bit while remaining very lore accurate was the goal. I want these to fit, Which one was your favorite of the three?
Chromes.
Okay.
There is a special place in my heart for weird bug aliens that go around and be weird bugs.
Fair.
Gerald?
I got to represent my own species, so I'm going to stick with Demiurg.
Yeah.
Rock and Stone, baby.
Rock and Stone. Yeah, I think I'll join you with the Demiurg on this one. I like the Demiurg. I always kind of like that. Okay, so you got all the dwarf stereotypes, but just to take them away from, just to make them unique, you turn them into actual rock, the thing people, I thought that was always cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. And they scream clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
Sure
yeah.
Into the void. For sure, absolutely. Well, that's that episode. we didn't really. I didn't find any good examples of miniatures for these guys for the Enoulians, so I didn't really mention it. But if you have anything, definitely send me some pics. I would love to kind of see what people come up with for the Enoulians. But yeah, let's do some end notes. Listener lore, Lorehammer listener lore. We're still doing homebrew lore reading, so submit your lore, come read it, go listen to the show, all that kind of stuff.
And I know I've been making a lot of Halo jokes, so if you want to hear me talk more about Halo, come over to the Grim Lore podcast, where Rayway and I talk about all things Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, and then sometimes Halo and Destiny. So there you go. There's your segue.
Nice. And
That
Booby,
that
Booba
was
Jack, where can people find you?
in my home. My address is none of your business. No
Uh,
solicitors. You were this close.
mm,
I was gonna say it for the bit. If you do want to send me money, I will give you my Zelle as long as you message me on Discord. I will allow you to send me money.
that's nice of you. You are very kind.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also will allow people to do that with me, but on Patreon.
yeah.
So
But
either
not
way,
not not like in a legally tracking way though.
no,
Because it will not be taxed because
no, just
taxation.
like your standard tax evasion
Yeah, yeah,
scenario. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Taxes are evil.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everyone who helps
Yeah,
support us evade the government and taxes. Every dollar you give us is a dollar the government doesn't get. I guarantee you. You give me money, I won't let the government fucking touch it.
yeah,
Fuck them. All
and
right.
neither
Well,
will
that's
you.
Lorehammer. The next episode, I think we are doing. Oh man, it's Crude. We got Crude in it. We got a couple of other ones. It's gonna be a great episode. Super hyped. Yeah, we'll see you all there.
Jizz
Adios, everyone.
hands. Jizz hands.
Jizzy, Jizzy hands.